Next Saturday, the Eagles collide with the Cardinals. Next Sunday, the Saints clash with the Niners. The battles for the playoffs continue next weekend on CBS Sports.
The NFL Today post-game show is sponsored by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the Miller Lite NFL Lineman of the Year Award. Once again, Brent Musburger.
All right, welcome back to the studio. And so Phil Simms' shoulder holds together, and the Giants win a big one. 44-7 was the count over the Phoenix Cardinals. And at the moment, the Philadelphia Eagles are having some problems. Here's the one that Giant fans want to know about. 1917, the Skins just got back in business with a touchdown pass by Doug Williams. And there's about 5 minutes to go in that game. So if you stick with us in this post-game show, we'll keep you up to date as to whether or not the Giants are going to have a lead in the NFC's Eastern Division, or they will remain tied going into the final 2 weeks of the season. Now, meanwhile, there's a big swing in the AFC as far as the home field is concerned. Cincinnati figures to beat San Diego, and right now, Buffalo is being upset by Tampa Bay. And if that holds, the Bengals would have the home field for as long as they go if they can wrap up the Central Division Championship. With a win today, they assure themselves of at least the wild card home field advantage. Now, Dallas and Cleveland, a bit of a surprise. The Cowboys have hung tough this afternoon. The Browns got 2 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter out of Bernie Kosar, but the Cowboys came right back. And when Herschel Walker thundered in, it was a 3-point game. Now, the big upset of the day, taking place down in Tampa, the key, Vinny Testaverde, has not thrown a single interception. He came into the game with 31. Meanwhile, Indianapolis and Miami, the site of Super Bowl 23, and it was a wild, high-scoring game. Eric Dickerson with the hot hand, well over 150 yards for Indianapolis, and he scores a touchdown, 31-28. How about New England and Seattle? The Seahawks got only 2 first downs the entire game. Now, how much trouble do they have when they come east late in the season? And, of course, Doug Flutie and his running backs. This is Perriman going up over the top. Irv, how about the year that John Stevens has had for the Patriots?
An unsung hero, really, an underrated running back when he came in the league. Here he carries the ball there for over 1,000 yards this season. Got to congratulate him on having a great year running the football for him. And I just get a signal that it's over down in Tampa Bay. The upset holds. The Buccaneers have beaten Buffalo this afternoon. What a shock that is. Patriots with a win over the Seahawks. And here is the final score. Buccaneers 10 and the Bills 5. And now Buffalo has lost 2 in a row. Here from the game is the big interception. When Kelly was going in, he threw this interception with time running down, and the Buccaneers were able to kill the clock, and they stage a huge upset. 10-5 is the final in that game. And now finally, other finals, San Francisco beating Atlanta 13-3 is the count in that game. And Irv, it's always that combination. That's right. Montana to Rice. Here, Joe feels pressure in the pocket and rolls outside and finds Rice in the end zone for the first touchdown of the day.
Now, the big one, though, in that division, Dick, is coming up next week when New Orleans goes out west to take on the 49ers, regardless of what the Saints do later today against Minnesota, I guess.
Right. They're going to have to do business, the Saints. They're going to have to beat the 49ers because they already lost to them once already. So I think they've got the tougher road to go, the Saints. They got the Vikings, and then they got the 49ers out there. So I believe if the 49ers can just win out, I think they get the home field advantage. Sure, at least one of them.
Yeah, absolutely, because they will have swept New Orleans, and so that'll put them in a good
You know what I heard, too, in San Francisco is that they had a team meeting a couple weeks back after the Raider game, and they just, had a team meeting and said, hey, let's quit listening to everybody with all the controversy with our quarterbacks, and let's start believing in ourselves, and let's put a string together, and by golly, they're starting to do it.
Seems to have worked, and speaking of working, Dick and Irv, the Detroit Lions, Wayne Fontes getting the job done here against Green Bay, 30-14, time running down in that one, so apparently they're going to win again. And the offense, Mouse Davis now the offensive coordinator. Why not? The run and shoot, the end around, and Manley 21 yards for the touchdown. They even got some great defense out of a former Hawkeye, Devon Mitchell.
Well, the defense has been playing pretty well all year. Brenda, here, Devon Mitchell makes a great reception here on an interception, carrying the ball up to the left sideline for the Lions, setting up a scoring opportunity for them. As a matter of fact, he goes all in for a touchdown, a 90-yard touchdown interception return.
Didn't leave the opportunity for anybody.
No.
He took advantage of it. We'll continue with our post-game show. We'll keep you up to date on the Philadelphia Eagles in just a moment.
My man makes a living thinking on his feet, so he can't get in a bind when he's covering his beat. He wears Hanes, Hanes, Hanes. It fits right everywhere. Hanes, Hanes, Hanes. It's not just underwear.
Nothing makes a man feel better than the superior fit and comfort of Hanes. It's not just underwear.
He wears Hanes, Hanes, Hanes. It's not just underwear. It's Hanes. Which side are you on? Come on, come on, come on! Tastes great! Let's Billy! Tastes great! Let's Billy! Tastes great! In this world you gotta choose. When it's Miller Lite you can't lose. You get both. Tastes great! Let's Billy! Tastes great! Miller Lite isn't just a regular beer with a watered down taste. When it's Miller Lite less filling, tastes great! Let's Billy! Tastes great! Let's Billy! Tastes great! Sometimes you got it today. Emerson's got it right. Fine tune your life. Nobody's gotta tell you. Emerson does it right. Fine tune your life. Fine tune your life with Emerson.
Here we go.
All right, the Eagles now are clinging to that 2-point lead right now. It is 19-17. That is the score. 2 minutes left. So obviously we're going to be checking in on the last 2 minutes of that game. They're in a break right now. The Washington Redskins have the ball back on about their own 30-yard line. Now, Cleveland over Dallas, 24-21 is the count in that game, with the Cowboys with a chance to knock the Browns completely out of that playoff picture, and they certainly have a chance in that game. They have played quite well in the fourth quarter. The Browns with the lead there as the result of 2 touchdown passes by Bernie Kosar in that game. And so the Dallas Cowboys are attempting to maneuver in that game. Meanwhile, the Giants over the Cardinals, the game that you watched, 44-7 is the final score. And let's send you out to the Meadowlands and Pat Summerall. Pat?
All right, Brent, and obviously when you win 44-7, as the Giants did today, something had to work right. It was turnovers, it was Joe Morris, it was Phil Simms, and it was the defense, and of course it was the offensive line, John.
That's what I think. I think the Giants earlier in the season maybe were talking about being a playoff team, and I didn't feel they were really playing like a playoff team. But today they did play like a playoff team, and I think it started there with the running game. If they're going to be a real champion team, if they're going to be in the hunt for this thing, they have to have a running game. Then to have a running game, the offensive line has to knock some people off the line. And this was one of the first times just this year that I've seen that.
It was a very windy and rather cool day here at Giants Stadium. And Bill Parcells, the Giants coach, made a choice after he won the toss to kick off with the wind. His defense did the job, and they got the points. They recovered a fumble on the opening kickoff. And we asked the quarterback, Phil Simms, if he was surprised when Parcells made that decision. The toss?
No, he told me before the game that if we won the toss that we were going to do that. So I thought it was a good choice because they tried to get us out to a fast start. I thought that was important for us today.
Phil, it seemed like in that first quarter, it didn't seem like that, but in that first quarter, you were as sharp and as effective as I've seen you in a long time.
Well, we matched up against some of their coverages pretty well. We called the right plays, and today they gave me a little more leniency. I guess you'd say I was able to check off a lot more, and I just did whatever I wanted, so it made it easy on me, and then I think them not having Lonnie Young in there hurt them a little today, too.
And then I think a win like this really, at this point in the season, really has to be a big thing for your team.
No question. We had to come out today, play well, and do a lot of things that we got to keep doing for the rest of the season. One was running the ball. I was really happy to see the way our line just kept after them. And, you know, as the game wore on, we started running the ball more effectively. And we got to do this, especially because this is kind of weather we're going to play in every week up here.
Bill, congratulations. Thanks very much.
Thank you all.
44-7, Giants over Phoenix. Now back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. Now, 2-point game here. The Skins have gotten to midfield. They are down to their last timeout. Now let's send you out. We're going to listen in on Dick Stockton and Dan Fouts.
49-yard line of Philadelphia. Oliphant gets hit, and Mike Pitts gets him for a loss. Back in Redskin territory to the 48.
But it takes great players to come up with great plays. This time it was Reggie White who got in there right as the handoff was given to Oliphant, who disrupted the play.
Calling it at the line. Only one timeout left for the Redskins. And a completed pass to the 42-yard line. Ricky Sanders, another catch. And the Redskins hurry up again. Winding down to a minute remaining. The Eagles lead 19-17. Doug Williams has Monk. And Monk gets inside the 40-yard line. Under a minute to play. The Redskins, who have made myriad of errors today at every phase of the game. And now the clock is stopped as Doug Williams fires the ball down as an incompletion with 43 seconds to go, and the Redskins are going to say to the Philadelphia Eagles here, if you want this division title and want to knock off the defending Super Bowl champs, you're going to have to play tough down the stretch.
Well, the Redskins are really showing a lot of class here today. This man especially, Doug Williams, he's the last guy that expected to be a factor in this ball game. Heck, he spent all day yesterday, one of the happiest moments a person can experience as his wife gave birth to a new baby boy, and now he's in another one of the great competitive situations that he's famous for.
3rd down and 7 at the 39. Williams. Pass is caught short of a first down by Mike Oliphant. Eric Allen prevented the first down. Clock is running. Williams is getting the play. Lohmiller's longest field goal has been 46 yards as the Redskins now have to call their last timeout. So in order to try a 46-yarder, the Skins need to get to the 29, and right now they're at the 33-yard line. They call their last timeout with 28 seconds on the clock.
I gotta believe they gotta get about 10 yards closer than that because of this wind that's coming right in his face. This is the area on the field where Zendejas missed a chip shot extra point. It's a very difficult place, especially for a kicker, knowing that the wind is there. Your mind starts to play games with you. You start thinking about playing the wind instead of playing just football and kicking the ball through the uprights. A lot of things can happen when you're kicking into that wind and you got a rookie kicker. Let's get him as close as possible, and I'm sure that's what Doug Williams just said to Joe Gibbs, or vice versa.
But before they do that, they've got to get the first down, and it'll be 4th down and 1. Randall Cunningham leading the crowd. He's standing on top of the Eagle bench, and here is a 4th and 1 for the Redskins on the Eagle 33. Williams completes the pass. It's enough for the first down, but the clock is running. Monk had it. The Redskins are out of timeouts.
Williams trying to get him on the line of scrimmage so he can snap it and kill the clock with an incomplete pass. There it is.
With 11 seconds to go, the ball is on the 26. And now Joe Gibbs has to make a decision. He has 11 seconds left. But unless they can get out of bounds with a pass closer to the goal line, he's risking having the clock run out before Lohmiller can try a field goal into the wind.
Well, that's why you got head coaches. They make these decisions. Do we go for the field goal now? It appears so. But what a gutty call on 4th and 1, going back to pass and throwing the ball.
So here's Lohmiller. He has kicked a 37-yarder. It'll be a 45-yard attempt. And it's a fake. Coleman throws it away. But it'll be 3rd down with 6 seconds to go. Well, did you see if Coleman had a chance to run out of bounds at all? But maybe not with only 6 seconds left.
Well, you would think a guy could run 30 yards in 6 seconds, but I don't know about Greg Coleman. Another gutty call by the Redskins. But where's the receiver for Coleman to throw the ball to?
Yeah, the Eagles had a defense pretty well.
Pretty smart call, but this is for all the marbles right now.
44-yard attempt. 6 seconds to go. The kick is long enough, and it's good. The kick is good, and the Redskins have taken a lead with 1 second to play. There is 1 second showing on the clock, but Chip Lohmiller has kicked a 44-yard field goal, and the Redskins have taken a lead over Buddy Ryan and the Eagles, and Ryan is not going to wait for that 1 second. He's heading into the dressing room. Here it is again.
Great kick, obviously. The Redskins showing that, hey, they may not be the champs this year, but they still have what it takes to be the champs.
Considering all of the mistakes the Redskins have made today in every phase of the game, does Joe Gibbs want this game? Here's his reaction. And this veteran stadium crowd filing out is quiet and silent. The despair on the Eagles sideline.
It's unbelievable to me that this man right here is not sticking around for the last second of this ball game. There are a lot of people looking up that tunnel to see if he's going to come back out. I don't think he realizes that this game is not over yet.
And I got to go back to the play you talked about, the 4th and 1, when Doug Williams threw a pass for the first down to keep it going, and then following the fake, Lohmiller makes good on a 44-yard field goal to give the Redskins a 1-point lead.
And if anybody had any idea that Joe Gibbs is not a great football coach, he really showed it in the last drive for these winning points. He had that gutty call on 4th down, as you called. Also, the fake field goal on 2nd down, where you have a chance to either make the big play, but knowing that if you don't have it, it's not the end of the world. It's not the game's not over. Throw it away, line up, try the field goal when it really counts, your last play of the ball game.
Buddy Ryan left for the dressing room. You saw the tunnel. He has not come out. Lohmiller will kick off. Keith Byers is the deep man, along with Chris Carter. Here's Lohmiller. It bounces, and it's caught by Little. Lateral to Konechny. Here's Carter. And there's a flip to Byers. Byers down the sideline, but that'll do it. Loose ball. The Redskins wind up with it. And it's Barry Wilburn who gets it as Lohmiller's field goal wins the game for the Redskins. And if Joe Gibbs wanted to find out what his team was made of, with their fading playoff hopes about to disappear, he found out this afternoon.
We also found out...
All right, there are the standings in the Eastern Division, and for Giant fans, it's simple. Beat Kansas City, beat the Jets, both in the Meadowlands, and they wrap up the division title. Now, we're going to say goodbye to those folks who watched San Francisco beat Atlanta. Then we'll be joining up with those who watch Washington and Philadelphia, and we'll continue with the NFL Today postgame show on CBS in just a moment.
You know what smooth is? You gotta stop and taste the high life. Smooth is the sensation of cracking open a cold Miller High Life. Smooth is the anticipation of that first mouthful hitting the back of your parched throat. Smooth is the feeling of a beer that goes down easy, never bitter.
Stop and taste the High Life.
Smooth is knowing how good that first Miller High Life tasted, and that it's time to enjoy another.
You know we're gonna be there, don't think twice. Service is part of our name. We're a part of your country, a part of your town, and no one else does it the same. We deliver, we deliver. It's the reason you trust us. You know that we're gonna come through. We're your postal service. We deliver for you.
Got in.
We deliver for you.
Here's why these members of the United States ski team prefer Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine.
I came down with some mean cold symptoms. I was congested, I was tired, I couldn't breathe through my nose. I took Alka-Seltzer Plus and it helped to remove those cold symptoms.
I've got a number of guys that are depending on me, and I have to be out there the next day. And Alka-Seltzer Plus really helps me do that.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Fast, effective relief for tough winter colds. Try Alka-Seltzer Plus nighttime cold medicine to relieve your cold at night.
All right, welcome to our studios in New York. Those of you who watched that exciting game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins. And the Redskins keep their playoff hopes alive with that field goal by Lohmiller, and the draft choice now comes through. But the play I want to focus on is not the successful field goal, but the one that shocked the whole lot of us. And that was the play before it. Lohmiller was set up to attempt a field goal. Coleman rolls out on the fake. And Dick Butkus, why did you think that was such a good call?
Well, Coleman, you know, can throw the ball and he's got good speed. So what the heck? He gives it the fake field goal and he rolls out. And if everybody's covered, like the Eagles did a good job of that, okay, he can still see the clock. Bam, can it? Spike the ball. I also think the Lohmiller gets a little reprieve there. I mean, he gets to line it up and gets to fake the kick and everything else while Coleman's running around, dashing around. Okay, now we come back. We're doing it for real. Okay,
here we go. Take some pressure off the kicker then, huh, Herb?
It's a great strategy. You know, I really thought the Eagles would win this game today because we were so pumped up in Philadelphia all week long looking forward to this ball game. But credit Joe Gibbs and his staff for doing an outstanding coaching job. There were plays called in that game that were just really great calls from the coaching staff.
Yeah, Redskins yard out. I'll tell you, Dick, from inside about the 10-yard line, this Alfred Anderson is becoming about as tough as any runner in the league.
Well, him and I think Way Wilson, the quarterback, the passing game, they're getting Carter active, active finally. And I still think that that 10-day rest, I mean, it's going to do them well, I think, going down the stretch.
Yeah, and I think the other thing we should stress here is that regardless of what happens, New Orleans has to have one eye on that game next week against San Francisco. They're still going to have to win it. Two other games are underway, both in the AFC. Raiders and the Broncos, and the Raiders have struck first. They lead 7-0 right now in the Coliseum. The Jets in Kansas City ambush. The Chiefs are a pretty tough team at home. We're going to come back. We're going to hear from some of the heroes in Washington. We'll say goodbye to those of you who enjoyed the Giants-Cardinals game today. And for the rest of you, we'll be right back with the NFL Today post-game show in just a moment.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans. Or had you forgotten?
Pure, genuine, never heat pasteurized. A beer that's made unlike any other, cold filtered to give you the rich, smooth taste of real draft beer. That's the mark of a great beer. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. It's as real as it gets.
For John Madden, this is Pat Summerall saying so long from Giants Stadium, where the final score, the Giants 44, the Phoenix Cardinals 7. Remember, it's the NFL on Saturday next weekend as the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Phoenix Cardinals from the Valley of the Sun at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
The NFL Today post-game show has been sponsored by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the Miller Lite NFL Lineman of the Year Award.
You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.